Woman Speak podcast with Joy Sylvester. Welcome to my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe.
Welcome to Woman Speak podcast. I am your host, Joy Sylvester. Today is just basically Thanksgiving on Woman Speak podcast. Thanking God for the year 2024. This year, we need to do Thanksgiving. We need to do Thanksgiving, down from the economy and down to everything. We're able to sit back and just talk about our 2024. The good, the not so good, and the blessings upon blessings. So before we begin, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to Woman Speak podcast so that you're part of this beautiful family. So here with us today is a great friend. She's a great friend. I keep emphasizing great friend. This lady is, let me say, my ride or die. Because she's the person who, like, she encourages me, she pushes me on. Just if I'm going through a whole lot, let me just call this lady. Her advice alone just lifts me up. So here with us on Woman Speak podcast is my great friend, my best friend, Yachit Dala.
Hello.
She is a makeup artist, a talented makeup artist from Spring Olive's Touch. Yachit Dala. Welcome. The privilege having you on
It's
podcast. It's actually a privilege.
I'm finally here and I don't take it for granted and I am happy to be here. This is a family, this is a place where I see value in it. I see, in the world where we see women pulling each other down, there's this popular notion say women don't support.
Yes.
But here's a place where women actually speak about issues that concern us. Issues that our mothers don't tell us, where they endure themselves.
Yes.
But then now we are here encouraging each other, pushing each other, a sisterhood. That it warms my heart, and this is entire. I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, it's an honor. The year 2024. A lot of people say show them shiggy if you can use that term, but we should be thankful that as much as we had people losing their lives, a lot of friends, family losing their lives and all that, God has been good. I won't lie. So we're going to sit down and just discuss how our January went, how February, if I can recall, our March, our April, May down to December. Some of us added new ages. We're not small children anymore.
I'm still a baby girl for life. If you want old, now you want old.
We're still baby girls for life.
I'm
We're
still
baby girls for life. Let's talk about January. How was your January like?
Okay, I feel like before I speak about the January part, before something happens, something precedes it. Now, I want to say 2024 has not been an easy year for most people, not for all. Sometimes there are times when people are going through some things, it doesn't affect others. But to be honest, I feel that 2024 shook everybody, not just economic-wise, but also in your peace, your sanity. You could see rise in depression, you could see businesses falling, you could see relationships falling. So I want to first say that, let's not lie, Shege was seen in 2024. Now, before 2024, I have to tell you that I was depressed, I was broke. When 2023, I can remember December, I was broke, I was stressed, I was depressed, everything negative was there. And so I was like, God, I don't want this anymore. So the first prayer I have to pray was like, I was like, God, how far? And in my mind, some part of my mind,
how far?
Part of my mind, there's a part of my mind said, you did tell God how far? When was the last time you actually took him seriously? So I was not like, okay, no, before I begin to demand, I want to say, Lord, I want my spiritual life to be. That's 2023, December. Because that year too, it was not as harsh as but I when you say you were going through something, I backslided in my spiritual life. So the first thing I had to ask God was, Lord, I want to be serious with family of people
Yes.
where I come together and they encourage me. Out there, it's like, social media is the trend. Everybody's posting Jesus, Jesus. You see this lady and the Jesus baby. But when you go and have conversations with people, it's conversation that takes from you, it's conversation that drains you. So I was like, I want a place where I am intentional about my spiritual growth, and it was answered that December. So when this thing that you say, okay, we're moving to the next year, and you write a New Year resolution, or you say, okay, I'm going to achieve this. I don't used to do that. I don't. But that day, I think it was around December 28th, I was like, I'm going to write it down. I was like, God, I want to grow spiritually. I want good health for I and my family. I want my finances to go better. I want this. And as I wrote all those things, I'm telling you, on the 21st of December, right? I was now praying the crossover. My family, we don't usually go for crossover. It's not something we do. So on my own, I was in my room, I was praying, and then an anchor verse. I called that my anchor verse because that is the verse that took me throughout 2024 up to today, and it was Isaiah chapter 43, verse 18 and 19. However, you would get more clarity if you go to verse 16. Now, this is what the verse. I'm going to paraphrase it, please. It says from 18, it said that can't forget the former things. Yes? Can't you see I am doing a new thing? I will make a way in the desert, and I will make springs of water in the wilderness. Oh, as I saw that joy overflow filled my heart, and I was like, yes, this year is going to be different. My business is going to move. Good health for my family. You know that I had that notion that everything is going to be still. Then I and my brother went for service on first January. So we went to church because we usually have church services. And as we went, the pastor that was preaching that same verse as wow. Yeah, that's it. He was intentional. Now, here it is. At the end of 2024, that we are here, I'm going to tell you that I misunderstood. Remember when we continue to say, forget the old things. Can't you see? I'm making things coming. Hey. Beautiful things. In my mind, I said, go straight. I will buy them this year.
I will buy it this year.
I will buy it this year. Now, this year, I lost my dad to cancer. And it was this year he had a relapse because he had surgery like 4 years ago and everything was fine. And then this year that was like everything's going to go well. I lost my dad to cancer. This year I saw how finances were. When people begin to argue about money, it was bad. I'm going to be so vulnerable with you here because I feel like there's somebody that needs to hear this. You know what is crayfish? Crayfish that is 100 naira will cause fights because they'll say, the crayfish you're going to use 100 naira to put in your soup. It's waste of money, crayfish. Inside what's miyo kuka. For those who are not from the north, miyo kuka is a very popular soup, but it's also one of the cheapest soup. But even in that cheapest soup you will not put crayfish inside. And it was the year where I began to feel, I was like, what am I actually doing with my life? I'm telling you that January, God put through. I didn't have school fees and exams was on the 7th. But I'm here. When I told you I misunderstood that verse, and you know when I realized that I misunderstood it, it's also this same December. This month that we are in, I misunderstood that verse. But you know one thing that we say is that I'm going to speak because I love God, and I'm going to mix it because I was now praying again. I was like, God, thank you. I just said thank you, but I didn't feel it. You know when they just say tell God thank you, and I told God thank you, and He reminded me of that verse, and I went back to that verse. Now this is what the verse said. Now I told you that it's supposed to start from 16, right? Now remember 16. He was saying, I am the God who drowned the chariots of Pharaoh. I'm the Almighty God who did this thing. Now, in reality, forget the this. I am doing it. Now, here's how I understand it. Yes, there are times that we have, this is a different thing speaking of seasons, there are seasons where you come and everything is going well for you. Like yesterday during fellowship, I was praying. Like I was scrolling through Instagram and you see this girl, Jesus gave me girl. Is it only me Jesus love? He's number one. You will see there, I got this, I achieved this, God is good, serving God is good. And that girl was giving testimony that when I began to serve God, I began to see things were moving well. I said, oh shit, don't worry, you're coming. That is introduction. And it's like a child, you know when a child is small, how do you win a child? When a child is a baby, 4 months, 3 months, 1 year old, you don't beat that child, you don't begin to discipline that child yet. That's a child that if you even throw something, you be the one say, don't throw it now, you pet the baby, put him on your laps. But when he begins to become 3-4 years old, he begins to understand, and then that is when you begin to discipline the child. Like if you pick something without permission, then he beats the hand. That's how God is. There's a season when he's going to bring you in, like you're my child. You know, they say God is a loving God, but he's also a God who disciplines. He's also a consuming fire. And he said, yes, those periods I did it for you. Your family was well, but you're going through this season, a desert season. That is what I forgot to get. A desert season is that you're going to go through this desert. And you know the illustration he came into my mind was, he said the children of Israel, they were heading to the promised land, but they had to follow the desert. And I was like, wow. So the things I saw 2024 is a desert period. Things were not going well, even for most of us. And sometimes we even forget to thank God. You'll be like, oh God, you said you are faithful. He said, you need to go through this period because I am grooming you, I am planting in you, he said, just as gold go through the fire and it is later refined, you need to go through that. And you know, there was a time I was praying, it was not like there was a time you were praying and you were like, God, take this away. He said, if I take it away, you will not become true gold that will be envied by others. This is a season you need to go through. However, in this season, even though you're going through hard time, I am there with you. I am there with you by I will provide a way. In the desert, there are times when you become so exhausted. You become like, oh, I don't know where I'm headed to. But then in ways, within that desert, in ways of that desert season.
This 2024. I remember since December 12, I was also depressed. I thought, that's when I was having love. I didn't feel love. I thought, or even as no one loved me, I was not valued. I just kept on feeling so depressed. Just close friends were around, and I entered New Year with a lot of requirements. I went for Shiloh last year. I wrote expectations. I got this next year. I want to be valuable, first for myself and for other people. I want to be able to share love, even though I'm not reciprocating, getting the love back. Despite it, let me give love. Let me feel loved. And all I felt this year was, it was kind of the opposite sometimes. Sometimes you just feel so down. I felt my finances were, this year, God, just all over the place, my finances. And it was like, God, this year you said that you're going to build my finances. I plan, this year I'm going to do this year I'm going to do that. I need to find a lot of footage. As much as Woman's Podcast came this year, a lot of things happened. I felt down. Like even when you, like, my prayer life was battle. I battled for prayer life because I need that desert season. And he said, God, for me, you just give a, like, how would I put it, a reassurance, because God can't, I know this thing, that God won't give you something that you can't have. He won't give you something that you can't have. For him giving you this thing, he knows that this body, you can handle it. And at the end, I always tell you actually, my story is my story. So that's I believe that God is pulling me for that season. He's making you go through that thing. I always tell, like, I never tell you that. I say whenever we go through these situations, it's making our story bigger. Our victory story, like our victory story is getting bigger. Yeah, our victory story is getting bigger because when you see, the more your victories, the more the battles you face. The more you, if you don't have any battles, then what are you rejoicing for? So the more the battle, the more the victory. So when those things come, I was like, yeah, our story is getting big. Our story is getting big. Our story is getting big. So like what you said, going through that depression. A lot of us are battling depression. and what the devil always attacks our joy. So and what about the kind of depression I went through, and I'm like, wait, who is bearing joy first? Is it not me that is bearing joy? I am going through this season of depression, feeling I'm not worthy, feeling I'm not deserving. So now let's talk about since we don't have much time, we can't go all through the months, but let's talk about February, March, April, May, June, all put together.
Alright, so like I told you, it was a desert period. There was no finances for me. I'm talking from my own this one. February, we were back home and I work at a place. I learned makeup from my boss. And it got so bad that I couldn't get transport to go to work. But then I still found, when they say there's a will, there's a way, I still was there. And then we came back to school. Now in school, you're staying with other people and sometimes there was no food. You're a student, gas has finished.
Yes.
So then I went to go back to that verse and it said that I am taking you through you, I will make everything and I will bring out springs of water in the wilderness. I saw it, but I didn't see that. There was something during class when we should say we trivialize the blessings. And we trivialize our blessings and we don't see it as like everything is going to do. Now, here's what I mean by that. Remember he said, I will make a way for you and I will still something to eat. But what is going to sustain you to get to where you are? I will provide it for you for it to continue to be refined. I was telling you about the meal cooker. I loved that soup before because there was meat, fish, but now not so sure. But 2025 I will love it again because there's going to be obstructions.
Yes.
Is that there was a time I was telling a friend of mine I was craving a food and there was nothing in the house. When I mean literally nothing, it was zero. And it was after my dad's death. Literally nothing. The only thing we had was firewood, charcoal and water. So I was not like, God, you're a God. I said no. I am a child of God and you provide. And I want my family will not sleep hungry today. And I declared it and I had this faith in me. I had this reassurance it's going to happen, yes. But you know what was the back of my mind? I was craving for spaghetti and fish. So later my mother came, no one just sent her money. It's like, wow, she was like, no, what will we do? She was like, we have maize. We should go and grind it. Then we'll buy cooker, we'll buy small palm oil, 1 cup, and Maggi. I was not angry. I was like, boys, is it not God? Is this not God? I prayed to you. What? I forgot that first of all he answered. Secondly, he gave me what will sustain me. If I eat tuwo and meal cooker, to be precise, what the basur faba and meal cooker, it will sustain me and my family for that day. If they had bought spaghetti, we eat only that what of tomorrow. You get? But then it will sustain me. But because I had this high craving, and that is the enemy, he gives you high craving, you now trivialize the blessing he gives. He say, I'm going to sustain you today. This one meal cooker will sustain your people. There will still be joy in your house. You're going to eat and live till tomorrow. But what? I trivialize it.
Trivializing the blessing. Sometimes it may not
So,
really come the way
we want it, but he's going to see you through. It's not the love you want, it's your need. He said, I will provide all your needs. Emphasis, needs, according to my riches in glory. You know, whenever we read that part, we say, you don't see the bills of the air, the leaves of the sun, what have you, what more of you, and you forget needs. We are focusing on wants, and we forget that God is always truth. He doesn't fail. He provides your needs. So when I tell you that from January down to December, He came through for me and I begin to see it. I am seeing it now and I cannot stop just saying, I've got miracles and miracles.
Little miracles.
I've got miracles and miracles. Miracle. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't even count them all. Now I'm going to sing. This year, I do not have a clue, but I've never posted my business, like you said, but I got more clients than I ever did while posting my business. Is that I'm just sitting, my friend just, you want to do makeup, I want to do makeup, and they come and they pay the exact price you want to do. There's also, that's a different story of branding your business and trying to put out, but I'm going to tell you, I didn't post on my Facebook, on my Instagram from January to now, but I got more customers here. And it always came at a point where there was a need, I need to sell, and bam, money is coming, clients are coming, and I didn't post. I don't know what logic you want to favor. You said I don't know what logic you want to link to it that somebody doesn't post his business. I don't even talk about it self. Someone will say, do you still do makeup? I say yes. I said I haven't getting. My roommate asked me, when was the last time? Not my roommate, her friend came. When was the last time you did makeup? I was like on Sunday, and she was like, wait, this like 2 days ago. I was like, yeah. I used to say I think you don't do. I said, my dear, I still do. For God favor me. Although yes, I know it's bad. You must show your business visibility, but I'm just trying to show you the God aspect in it. I told you I lost my dad to cancer, but I want to also say thank you to Dad because he survived it for 4 years. It hasn't been easy. Chemo is no small joke, it's not small money. But even at that, there was no quarrel, there was no blame, my family could sit and be at peace. And we trivialize God blessings just to finances. The fact that you could sit with your family at a dinner table, even if it's dad just home, and you laugh about it, you sleep and you wake up healthy. It's true. He's still God. So I want to tell you that I have seen people I have never seen before. Before, there was something I always looked bad, but now I had to be conscious of my look, and I never begged, I never stole to do that. God provided in every season. So when He's taking you this period, it's a going through, and He needs to refine you. You need to build on yourself. You know, one thing about this period is that when you're going through it, you also need to build on yourself. But I want to tell you that He has been faithful to His word. And when we are saying His Thanksgiving, that's why I feel like we should emphasize this, is that most of us, we don't look for what we are going to thank God for. But then, I want to tell you that even in that hard time, He's still saying, the fact that you woke up, I'm going to tell this, do you know what a sick man wants every day? A sick man that has a terminal illness, do you know what he wants every day? Just to wake up the next day, that his eyes actually move, like the sun is bright and I'm here. That's all he wants. For you are not going to get it because you're so healthy, and so now you're all concerned with how can I get the next iPhone? How can I move out of this place? How can I get my GP up? Those are blessings that we forget to see. The little things are looking at the place we live, the little things in every situation. God, like I said, this podcast will be totally relevant. Because there were times when you don't have anything in your hands. This podcast, did you really see this? Because is it what? Because I didn't know it would be this hard. The pressure was so much on me. And besides, you don't even have money. You need to transport yourself to the place. You need to do the list of fundings for the editing, everything, all that. And you're like, God. I want to ask myself, did you really send me to do this podcast? Because why is it this hard? And you go to your family, you have issues at home. Your family are also going through a lot of pressure. Like my dad is also late. It's just my mom, and the pressure is always on my mom. With all the children, the younger ones, my second, so our last born and our last born are all in school. Our last born is in SS3, all the paying of school fees and everything. So the body is on high, and with the limited resources. And you ask yourself, God. But what you said, seasons, and the pruning of seasons. Exactly. Because despite all the hardship or financial hardship and other hardships that we faced, the emotional downplay and everything, God is God. When we look at, the issue of gratitude, right? The problem of gratitude is that why people are having that issue of gratitude, because they look at the things not done and forget the things that are done. Because there's always something done. God is always doing something. So despite all the financial hardship, but there were days, there was not a day that we didn't have to do it. Exactly. It might not be the luxury thing you want, but I never admitted to the host.
who were never admitted. I always thank God. There's only a time I almost ran into an accident this year. And immediately the car just drew, like the car ran me with hit on my hand. And I said, the first thing that came to my mind was, this was going to drive because the man hit me and I drove off. But in every situation, God is teaching me thanksgiving. Because I was this kind of person that was always complaining. But in the little, God is faithful. In the little, God is faithful. He's building us into so much more. In the little, God is faithful. And every situation, this year, as much as He showed us He showed us blessings, favor, growth, grace. Because you see, people, God even brought gifts of men, gifts of friends. You forget that gift of friends, those silent encouragement. We tend to overlook it. But this year, I would say God brought good friends to me. Like God brought good friends that were just there to listen to what I'm saying, and godly friends. The friends that always say, yeah, let's go back to the word of God. Let's go back. Yeah. Friends that will go to burn the midnight candle just to pray for you. God has been faithful this year. God has been faithful this year. So just look back at all the things. Take a recap. If you need, get a book and scale through your months from January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, down to December. God has been faithful. Down to your businesses, like the podcast, the assignments He gives you. God has been faithful. So let's talk about businesses this year. Like your testimony really like despite you not posting, and you still got those customers.
Like I feel like this is a broad topic, but in a nutshell, I'm going to tell you something is that God doesn't just work magic. First of all, if you have nothing for Him to bless, how is He going to provide you needs? That's the first thing you have. See, God will provide my needs, but my riches in gold, but then you have like this. You're always the one on Instagram saying, please send me 2K. Do you get? So when I told you that He blessed me, this didn't happen. It's just that it amplified it this year where the need was needed. Immediately in 2019 I learned makeup, and it took me a break of almost 1 year. 2021 I have to bless God for the CEO of Riley Beauty Salon. She's a teacher. She's a teacher, and a teacher who doesn't hold knowledge but gives you more. So I've been with her from 2021, 2022, 2023. She groomed me. I went for a conference. She taught me so well. I can't thank her enough for that, because she taught me so well how to strategize, how to get customers, your customer audience who you're looking for. She taught me very well, and I was dedicated. But this is the problem with that. During those times of dedication, during those times I posted, during those times I was trying to push myself out there, it wasn't on. But God amplified it now that He knows that there was a need for it.
God knows the right time.
It also has something to do with timing. So when it comes to your business, most people I see who come into business now, they will come and they spend 1-2 months and then they go. And they're like, oh, it's not paying. Nobody started in a day.
Yes.
Like Ravi, I feel she should give her own business story personally. But I've seen her from when she was in Etobaba Angwa, when her shop was not even fine, to how she grew herself, to how they bubbled her shop, how she stood up. It didn't take her 1 day. It took years for her to
want an overnight lesson
like this. Now, for me, I told you I stayed, I was posting. People say you're doing makeup, I'll say yes, and people would just say okay, and then you go. I had to do a lot of free work for me to not just do but to learn. So one thing about people is now they don't even want to stay under mentorship. In everything I feel you need to stay under mentorship. Is that she mentored me well and groomed me well. Some people will be like, if I come for this makeup, why is she always talking like this? Or she's trying to send me as like, you want to be great but you don't want to serve. It doesn't happen that way. If that's what you become defective, you do it one way. For you to be able to be great or to lead or to own something, you must learn to serve. And that's what I served. She taught me and I learned. So when it comes to business, there's a whole lot, and that's a whole lot. But since today we're saying Thanksgiving, is that all those while I was toiling, it's like when you're sowing the seeds. You said that there's a part in the Bible, I'm not specifically sure when it says that you sow one, you sow two, but he's one that will reap a harvest of 10, of 60, of 100, of 80. This was when I began to harvest.
Yes.
I told you I fell through black times. I don't even want to go into the story of my sister having that's a whole new a lot. But all those times, all those years where I was toiling, it was like I wasn't getting enough. When I was going to have to look for a model and do free work and build my skill, and they will see finish in businesses. All those things now I posted all of it. I took myself out there. Everywhere. Every time if they tell me to introduce myself, oh, I'm going to go back. It was now where the need arrived.
Like speaking of businesses, to find the podcast that building, that process. So Asokoma was always, one time I always called Asokoma and I was like, sir, it's not easy. You try, don't forget to begin it. It's a process. God is, and do this to this process. God keeps teaching you. God keeps revealing things. He keeps bringing people into your life. People that you never thought that you would come across. And due to this process, God is bringing and God is opening your eyes to so many things. So there's so many things to be thankful for. There's so many things to be thankful. So sit back, think, ask yourself, go through the year from January to December, and there will always be something to be thankful for. There's a popular saying that says, if you're not thankful, you're a big fool. So be thankful. Be thankful. We are so grateful to God for His mercies and His grace. So we are thankful for the year 2024. It's an honor to be alive today. I can't wait to see the next year, and I can't wait to see what God has in store for every one of us. So we have to go, but our Thanksgiving is still full. It's still full. So be thankful. Drop in the comment section. What are you thankful for? What are you thankful for? If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. I am your host, Joyce. Bye.
Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.